everyone, in today's video I'm gonna talk about passwords and how to manage them. So I'd like to start this with this XKCD comic strip that explains how through 20 years of effort we've successfully trained everyone to use passwords that are hard for humans to remember but easy for computers to guess. If you want, you can pause this video and read it. So why password managers? In a world where there are tens of or hundreds of websites and applications each person sign up to, we have to remember that many passwords. A report from LastPass in 2017 found that on average, people had to remember 191 different passwords just for work, not to mention the personal passwords. The 2019 Google Online Security Survey found 52% of respondents reuse the same password for multiple, but not all, accounts. This is a big no-no, as it makes cyber criminals work easier, as they could use those breached passwords to access your other accounts if you are reusing them. So depending on how you manage your password, there are many advantages, like not having to memorize all your passwords, as you just need to remember the master password to the password manager. Password managers will also auto-generate highly secure passwords anytime you want to create a new account. They can alert you to a phishing site, as it won't autocomplete the username and password if you're using a browser-based password manager. Some password managers have the option of what is called digital inheritance, so that once you pass away, your beneficiaries can access your accounts. Many passwords managers autofill credentials to access online accounts. Some also stores and autofill name, addresses, etc., which is a time saver. As password managers help in having different passwords for each account, they help protect your other accounts, as if a cybercriminal hacks one of your accounts, they won't be able to get into your other accounts with that password. So lots of password managers are multi-platform and can synchronize between different devices and or operating systems, so you can still access your passwords going from your Android phone to your Windows laptop to your iPad, for example, or to your MacBook, whatever. Anyway, there are multiple types of password managers. The most rudimentary one is the password notebook. Yeah, I know. You'll probably take me for a fool to even talk about it, but hear me out. A notebook could be used to store passwords and are rather useful for people who are reluctant to learn how to use new software. It's easy to use, people understand its security as it's a physical one, and they will need to put it in a safe, having a lock on it, etc. It's also a good way to make sure that reticent people can still have unique passwords for each account they have, as they won't need to remember them. However, it gets a bit messier when one has to change its password to track the changes. It also doesn't generate any type of password nor autofill, as you can guess. Still, a nice solution for technology averse people. Then there's the encrypted files. So there's the possibility of using encrypted files which will have accounts and password in them. In this case, depending on what operating system you have and the encryption algorithm you want to use, it's a less intuitive solution than the password notebook or learning to use a dedicated software. So with that, you need to have a copy of the file on every device and a way to decrypt it too. It won't autocomplete nor autofill and won't generate password either. Another type would be browser-based password managers. So this is an integrated functionality of all browsers. They are free, there's no need for an extra application or software. They give you the ability to synchronize across all devices. However, if you use a different browser, you'll need to update manually from your passwords on the other browsers. They are also more susceptible to malware attacks through JavaScript malware, and don't alert in case of your account being a part of a data breach. We also have standalone password managers, whether they are desktop-based or cloud-based. So desktop-based password managers stores passwords and data locally. They can be accessed at any time, even with no connectivity. They are highly secure and offers dark web monitoring to verify if your accounts are found in data breaches. However, they are creating a single point of failure, which is why it's best to have regular backups. They don't synchronize between multiple devices and are not always free. Some examples of desktop-based password managers are these. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, and it's not an endorsement of any of them. Contrary to the desktop-based one, the cloud-based password managers use cloud storage for storing passwords. It automatically backups every change to the data on the cloud, and it can be used across multiple devices and operating systems. The security of the user data is directly dependent on the choice of the service provider. And generally, they aren't free but can be really cheap. Some examples you can find like RoboForm, Password, etc. Still not an endorsement. Then we have on-premise password managers. On-premise password managers are generally preferred by individuals and enterprises that wish to host and manage a password manager in their own closed environment to avoid external threat. These types of password vaults are helpful for teams that require access to password even in the absence of a stable internet connection. These usually offer password management features similar to a cloud password manager, but they are on the pricier end and are generally used by enterprises with access to resources and finances to maintain their own infrastructure. And they take longer to implement as they must be manually deployed. So, to the question what to choose, the answer is it depends. It depends on the pros and cons of each solution, what usage one will have, the personal preference, and the risk appetite of each individual or enterprise. In the end, it's still good to know what are password best practices. So, don't reuse passwords, create complex passwords, use a passphrase, which is a series of words that are easy to remember but hard to guess, enable two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication when possible. And in a small or medium-sized business, creating a password manager policy to let employees know that they can use one for managing their work accounts is a good thing, but maybe even go passwordless. We'll talk about that in another video. So, last thing I want to talk about before ending this video is that it's always a good thing to check if your email or phone is in a data breach by checking have I been pwned on a regular basis. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you learned something from it. As always, you'll find all references in the description below. Have a good week. Bye!